Hello, hello. Hello, guys. Hello, hello. Organize this a little bit more. Yeah. How are you? All good. Okay, it's waiting for people to arrive at the live. It rhymes, arrive at the live. Okay. So, guys, just start. You can tell me where you're watching this from. Let me see. I think I'm going to sneeze. One moment, please. Maybe not. Maybe yes. Am I going to sneeze? One second. Yes, I sneeze. Panama. So someone from Panama. All right. So hi there. Greetings from Chile. Okay. So I'm supposed to say hello to Deborah. Hello, Deborah. How are you guys? We have Panama. We have Chile. Pretty good. Pretty good. Hey, so why you tell me where you're watching this from? Peru. Lots of places today. So Panama, Chile, Peru. Cool. And yeah, so yeah, while you guys are telling me where you're speaking from, I'll tell you where I am. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fabi. I'm an English teacher here in Brisbane, Australia. And I help people get the score they need on the IELTS test and do the test only once. Okay, guys? No one should be doing the IELTS test more than once. All right. So here with it's live, so we do it twice a week. It's called IELTS Journey with Fabi. Okay, where we talk about everything and anything IELTS. Okay, so here I share strategies and also lots of stories from my students. And the stories are super cool because they will help you also achieve your score. Okay, guys. Yeah. So I don't know if you know, but I am also live on YouTube. Okay, so I'm also live on YouTube, and with YouTube, it's perfect because I have a board here. If you are on Instagram, you can see, but on YouTube, you can. All right, and if you miss these lives, you can always go to YouTube also. Okay, and if you have been to the link in my bio on Instagram, can you please say yes, I have? So, who has been to the link in the bio on Instagram? If you have, please say yes. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Have you? If you haven't, go to my link. Go to my link. Go to my bio, click on the link, and you will have a surprise in there. Okay, guys? Just go there and have a look. Go there, have a look, come back and tell me. All right, okay. So all right. Someone has. Cool. Yeah, okay. So, hey guys, we have an event coming up. And yeah, so if you want to know what's happening with Fabi English, IELTS, just go to the link in the bio. Oh, good. Cool. Now, let me see. So today we're going to talk about a topic that I think is basically 50% of your score. All right. So you probably think, oh, Fabi, yes, my score, is it English? No. Is it strategies? No. It's something else. It's your mindset. Okay. So today we're going to talk a little bit about mindset because I think that, sorry, because I think that, you have your English, you have your strategies, you know the test, but if you don't have the right mindset, you might not achieve the score you need. Okay, so today we're actually going to talk about your anxiety. Okay, yeah. Anxiety during the test. Okay, and the reason I want to talk about this today is because yesterday I was talking to a student. She's gonna do the test next week, and we were doing a speaking test together, right? And she was doing the speaking test with me. She knows me. I'm her teacher, right? And but she still was very, very anxious. Okay. So she said, "Oh, Fabi, I'm so anxious here with you. What's going to happen on the day of the test?" Okay. And I'm going to share some of the things I shared with her yesterday. Okay, guys. But not only for speaking, we're also going to talk a little bit about writing, listening, and reading. Okay. Good. Okay. So, yeah. So, guys, if you just arrived, just tell me where you are watching this from. Okay, cool. There's some people on YouTube also, guys. So YouTube, we also have a chat here. I'm just gonna say hi on the chat. Yes, I said hi on the chat. Okay, guys. If you have any questions, yeah, you can pop the questions in. All right, cool. So let's get started. So, um, I do feel that I don't know if you have done an exam before. Maybe you can say me. Okay, and sometimes we get really nervous during the exam. Okay. But I do think that the people who get nervous are the people who haven't practiced. Okay. Or the people who don't trust their skills. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. How can we improve that? Okay. So I feel that what causes anxiety during exams, that's from my own experience with exams. Okay, guys, and also from watching my students. Okay. I feel that the main reason that people have anxiety is because they don't know what's going to happen. Okay, it's the surprise. So that's one of the main things. Okay, guys, that might cause anxiety. Surprises. Okay, so how do we avoid those surprises? Okay, we avoid surprises by practicing. Mhm. So if we know what's going to happen, we should feel less anxious. All right. So if we know what the speaking part is like, if we know what the writing part is like, the reading part's like, okay, we should feel less anxious. Okay. But still, I have students where we practice and we talk about things and people are still anxious. Okay. So if you have been practicing and you're still anxious, maybe you should work a little bit with your confidence. Okay. So again, so we're talking about two things here because I do think that they go together. Okay. Anxiety and confidence. Okay. So most people who feel anxious, it's because maybe they haven't practiced. They don't know what the test is like. That's why they are so anxious. They don't know what's going to happen. But then, if you practiced, if you know what's going to happen, but you're still anxious, maybe you don't trust your strategies. Maybe you don't trust your skills. Okay. So, we're going to talk a little bit about that. All right. Okay. So, with practice, okay, guys, who knows what the speaking part is like? For the IELTS test. How many parts are there in the speaking part of the IELTS test? How many parts are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many? Just put the number there for me, please. How many parts are there for the speaking part? Let's see. Let me see. Who's gonna tell me the right answer? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? How many parts for the speaking test? People on YouTube, you can participate also. Everyone can join. How many parts do we have for the speaking part of the IELTS test? Anybody? How many parts do we have? Someone said 2. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then someone said 4. Mm-hmm. Okay. 2 and 4. You need to practice more because there are three parts for the IELTS test for the speaking part. Okay, so just imagine you go into the test and you think there's going to be 2 parts, and then you do part 1, part 2. I'm finished. There's another part. Oh my god! Then you feel anxious. Or let's say you think there's going to be four, and you go part one, part two, part three. Okay, just one more, and then it's over. Like, what? I haven't even showed the examiner my good vocabulary yet. Okay, guys. So that's why practice is so important, because you know what's going to happen. Okay, you know what's going to happen. All right. And when you are practicing, like I always tell my students, right? You should practice with me. You should have all the surprises with me, or when you're practicing by yourself at home. And then if you have a question, you can come and talk to me. Okay. Because then you can work on your strategies. Okay. So when you feel anxious, you need strategies. When your English fails you, you need strategies. And how do you get strategies? By practicing. Okay, guys, there are million types of ways of doing the speaking test, the writing test, the reading test, the listening test. What's the best strategy is the one that works for you. Okay, so you should be practicing and finding your own strategies. Okay, and that will also help you with your anxiety. Okay, but let's say that you are practicing, but you're still anxious. I think it's because of your confidence. Okay, and let's say that you need a 6 in reading and you are getting 6.5 when you practice by yourself at home. Do you think this is good? What do you think? Yep, that's pretty good. Okay, because you need a 6, and when you practice, you get a 6.5. Okay, but then I have students who are going through this and they say, "Oh, Fabi, I don't think I'll be able to do it." And I say, "Why not?" And they said, "Oh, no, because I get nervous." And I said, "Okay, you have the strategies. Okay, you know what you were doing. So yes, you'll be able to get a 6.5." I say, "No, no, no, Fabi, I don't think so." That's confidence, guys. That's confidence. Okay. So I feel, can you see that like it's like a little journey? Okay. So you know nothing about the IELTS test. Nothing. And then you're very anxious. And then you start practicing and you get to know the test. And you go, aha, now I think I know. Good. So you feel less anxious because there will be no surprises because you know the test. And then after you know the test, you should feel less anxious. But then you don't trust your English, you don't trust your skills, you don't trust your strategies. So then your problem, maybe your anxiety, is not because of the test anymore, it's because of confidence. Okay. And then how do you work on your confidence and also your anxiety? You practice and you go to the test knowing what's going to happen, having an idea of the score you would get. Because, guys, if you're practicing at home and you're getting a 5 and you need a 7, I don't think you should be doing the test. We always talk about this, right? You should do the test when you're ready. Okay. So when you go ahead and you do the test, but your practice has been a bit poor, I'm not surprised. If you're anxious, I'm not going to be surprised. Okay. However, if you have been practicing in a organized manner, okay, and then you go do the test and you're getting a good score on your practice, you're likely to get the same score the day you do the test. Okay. So that's one of the main things. All right, guys. So I think that half of your score sometimes is not being as anxious, okay, as you would be. Okay. Guys, if you have questions, you can pop the questions in the comments, okay? I'll get to them later. Right. So for example, this happened this week, right? So I'm always helping people with the IELTS test, right? So this week, one student, so this person was doing the test, and then the part 3 of the reading, it's academic, right? So part 3 of the reading was terrible. Okay, so this person, the score was a bit lower than usual because part 3 of the test was terrible. And this person told me, Fabi, I got to part 3 and I panicked. And then I said, okay, part 3, you panicked. I said, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I thought about it and I was like, okay, you panicked. So which strategies did you use? And the person said, I don't remember. And then I asked, did you use any strategies? And the person said, no. Okay, guys. So why did the person get anxious? So the person did part 1, part 2, part 3 got anxious. Why? because the person didn't use the strategies. Whereas part one and part two, the person, okay, this is part one, these are my strategies, part two is strategies. But when the person got to part three and there were like 20 minutes left, 15 minutes left, the person panicked. And when you panic, your anxiety is very high. And then the person's, do the test, do the test. No, go back to your strategies. Okay. If you feel that the English in a specific part of the test is difficult, what do? Trust your strategies. If you panic, trust your strategies. And how do you build those strategies? By practicing. Okay. That's an example for reading. Okay. Now, I have a student. This was actually a while ago. I remember it this week. So I have a student, and she got 7.5 in writing. Woohoo! 7.5 in writing, such a good score, right? But she said that when she was doing the test, uh, if you have been following me for a while, if you've been my student, if I've helped you with the writing part of the IELTS test, you know that I always ask you to make a plan before you start writing. Okay. So if you have been my student, you look at the task and you don't start writing straight away. Okay. You make the plan and then you write. Okay. So this student of mine, she she was going to do the test, right? And then she was doing the test and then writing part. Okay. She got a pen and the piece of paper to make the plan. And all she could hear was type, 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 because she was doing that in the computer. Type, type, type. Everyone was typing. Everyone was typing. She's like, oh my God, oh my God, everyone's typing. Why am I making the plan? Everyone's typing. She's like, no, I have my strategy. I make the plan, then I type. And she did it. And she managed to get a 7.5. So she said, Fabi, I got so nervous, but then I remembered, okay, they have a different strategy. I have my strategy. And then she followed the strategy that she had been practicing and she knew it worked. And then she applied and she succeeded. Okay, guys. So you see, so something small, just like everyone typing, may make you anxious or nervous. So what do? Trust your strategies, trust the things that work for you. All right. Okay. One more. One more. Oh God. Oh God. Yeah. So what happens a lot, and this happens all the time, right? So people, when they're practicing for the IELTS test, right? They try to do different tests and they practice a lot. And then I don't know if it's happened to you, and you can say, me. Have you ever done an IELTS test where they had a very, very difficult question? Let's say listening. One part of the listening was impossible. Or maybe speaking. One topic of the speaking was just like, what can I say about this topic? Have you ever had an experience like that, guys? Just say yes. Everybody has. Everyone has. Have you ever had like a, or maybe like a writing? You go, oh, talk about this. You're like, oh my God, I have no idea. Have you ever had this experience? Everyone has, right? So it can happen in speaking, even listening. I personally think that the listening is one of the easiest parts of the IELTS test, but sometimes you can get really weird questions there too. Okay. And that's what I call a surprise. Okay. So, for example, you get a topic that you never seen before in the speaking part, or you get question in the listening that is very unusual when you're practicing. Okay. That's what I call a surprise. Okay. Now, my question for you is, would you like to get this surprise on the day of the official test, or would you like to get the surprise when you're practicing? Every time my students complain about a difficult test, I tell them, you're lucky you're doing this when you're practicing, not on the day of the test. Okay. And recently I was talking to an examiner and we were discussing a very difficult test. Okay. So I said, oh, this test here is very difficult. because we use tests to practice with the students. Said, oh, this test is quite difficult. And the examiner said, yeah, it is. So probably because it's so difficult, the IELTS is not using it anymore. So that happens sometimes. Okay, guys, if they think it's too hard. Okay. So that's what you should be doing. Okay, guys, that's why you have to practice, because then you can get the surprises and the difficult stuff when you're practicing. Okay, so you get it when you're practicing. All right. So that's another reason. Okay. And with speaking, speaking, I think is one of the tricky ones, because you don't have a lot of time to think about it. Okay. However, one thing that is quite positive about the speaking test is the structure is always the same. It's quite short, and the structure is always the same, right? And with the topics, they repeat lots of topics. Okay, guys. So the materials I use to practice with my students, they are authentic materials. They are past exams, right? So I get lots of students saying that what we were practicing. Okay, let's say I'm helping someone who's done the IELTS test before. Okay, and they said, oh my god, Fabi, this one was just like I did. Okay, and people say that a lot for the speaking part. Okay, so the IELTS test, they repeat stuff. Okay, I'm not going to say that they repeat exactly what they did before, but they will repeat a few things. Okay, so like for example, it's been quite common to get some questions about arts and crafts, like like painting, like, or creating art when you were a child, that kind of thing. Okay, so it's been quite common, all right, to get that topic. So that's the thing. So maybe you're not going to get the exact same question, but you're going to get the same topic. Okay, so when you practice, you familiarize yourself with these kinds of topics. Okay, education, oh my god. Basically, if you're going to do the academic test, okay, guys, the reading part is basically about education. Most of the time they're talking about education. It's very, very common, okay, to talk about education. Listening part 3, it's always people at a university, in a university context, okay, talking about something. All right, guys. Yeah. Okay, do you have any questions for me? Any questions? Let me check here. Questions? Yeah. So, guys, don't be anxious. Don't be anxious. All right. Okay. So, yeah. So, while you pop the questions in, I'm just going to revise with you what we talked about today. Okay. Yeah. So, today we're talking about anxiety. Okay. And how to solve the anxiety on the day of the test. So, one of the main things you guys can do is practice. Okay, when you practice, you prepare yourself, and when you prepare yourself, your anxiety levels should be lower. Okay, when you're going to do the test. All right, but then if you have been practicing but your anxiety levels are still quite high, in my opinion, you probably have to work on your confidence. Okay, you have to work on your confidence. That's another thing that you have to do. And how do you work on your confidence? Well, if you are performing well when you are practicing at home, you are likely to get the same score on the day of the test. I was talking to a student yesterday. Man, she is getting like 7.5 in reading, 7.5 in reading, 7 in writing, and she's worried. She needs a 6 and she's worried. And I said, I decide if your English is good enough, okay? And your English is good enough for a 7. She's like, oh, Fabi, are you sure? I am sure, okay? So her anxiety is based on a little bit of lack of confidence, okay? So she should be just be more confident, and trust me when I say that her level is good. And she trusts herself too. She's getting 7s. Oh my god, she needs a 6 and she might be able to get a 7 overall. How cool is that? No, I'm not sure, I'm not sure. So, yes, you should be sure. Yeah, she's doing the test next week. I'll let you know when she gets her score. Okay, guys. Yeah. Okay. So and yeah. So again, so one of the best things you can do, guys, is practice, practice, practice. You know what the test is like. Okay. So you know what the test is like. And you can also and then when you practice, you work on your own strategies, okay, and you can fix your anxiety. Okay, okay, okay. Someone saying hello, hello. I'm doing quite well. I'm doing quite well. How are you? Some people saying hello. All right, okay, yeah. So, guys, any questions for me about anxiety? About anxiety? Oh yes, and so again, there's a little surprise if you go to the link in the bio. Okay. If you're watching me on YouTube, go to Instagram. I know, guys, if you're on Instagram, I send you to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, I'll send you to Instagram. Okay. So, sorry. Um, okay. Someone has two questions. Okay. So I'm going to wait for the two questions. Okay. So while I wait for the two questions, I'm going to tell you what's going on. Okay. So there is an event. Okay. There's an event. Okay. So to join my event where you will learn heaps of information and strategies about the IELTS test, go to the link in the bio. Okay. So, first question, do you speak Spanish? No, I do not speak Spanish. People think I speak Spanish. No, I don't. I speak Portuguese and English. Just Portuguese and English. And what's the difference between advise and advice? Big difference. Small, but big at the same time. Okay, so let me tell you what the difference is. 1 second. All right. See, oh my God. I'm going to write on the board, guys. And to see the board, you have to go to YouTube. All right, guys. Okay, go. YouTube, Fabi English. Okay, Fabi English. All right. So go to YouTube, please. The person who asked me the question about advise and advice, go to YouTube. Okay, guys. So advice with a C is a noun. Okay, so advice with a C is a noun, and advise. Oh my God, advise is a verb. Okay, it's a verb. So that's the difference. So you can ask for advice and you can advise someone. That's it. Okay, let me just do one thing here for you. Let me see if I can do this. Yes, I can. I'm just going to go to Cambridge Dictionary. Are you guys using Cambridge Dictionary? Okay, so this is to help people who are on Instagram. Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah. Oh my God. Let me just show you quickly here. Advice. Okay, let me just, how can I do my here? Okay, let me just do this. So can you see? Yeah. So advice, as you can see here, advice is a noun. Okay. And let me show you the other one. 1 second, please. Advise is a verb. Let me show you. Here. Advise verb. Okay. That's it. Okay, guys. Yeah. So we should all be using Cambridge Dictionary. Oh my God, my camera's all in the wrong place now. Okay, it's not too bad. All right. So that's the difference. Okay. So pay attention to the spelling. Okay. Pay attention to the spelling. Okay. With S is the verb, with C is the noun. Okay. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Any other questions for me, guys? Any other questions? Nope. All right. So I'm going to go. Okay. So I will be back. Oh, yeah. Go to my stories. Go to my stories. Have you been to my stories today? There's a little surprise for you there. Fabi English on Instagram has lots of surprises, guys. You should check it out often. Okay. There's a little bit of a surprise in the stories. Okay, guys. So head to the stories. I'm not gonna say what it is. Okay, you have to go there and check it out. You're gonna be happy if you see it. All right. Okay. So any final questions for me? Any final questions? Mm-mm. Any vocabulary questions, grammar questions, IELTS questions? No? All good? All right. Okay. So I'm going to go. All right. So make sure you go to the link in bio. Make sure you go to the stories to check it out. All right. And I'll be back on a Thursday. Okay. You're very welcome. People are saying thank you. Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm going to go, but I'll be back on Tuesday. Same time. All right. See you later. Bye.